Hello everyone, Barb here from barbaderholt.closetomyheart.com. Welcome, thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video we are going to recreate this little card. I really wanted to use the current stamp of the month for April of 2023. This is what it looks like. I use this little birdie here. I also use the sending and happy thoughts for sentiments. And this stamp is called Sweet Treats. It is only available during the month of April of 2023. And I'm saying the year because if you watch this video down the line, this stamp set will not be available. So this card came about with some experimentation. I knew I had this piece of paper that I wanted to use, and I decided to go with a bit of a muted rainbow of colors to keep stamping that happy thoughts. And then I ended up with an espresso paper. I did start out thinking that I was going to stamp a little bird on this. These are called stitched bracket thin cuts. You can see the stitch detailing, really cute, and I love this shape. But it just wasn't working for me. So then I thought maybe if I gold heat embossed it, I thought maybe that would work. Still wasn't loving it. What I ended up doing is stamping it on a plain piece of paper and doing a little bit of matting, and that I liked. So that's how I ended up here. I thought I would take you along as I do a little mini assembly line completion of some cards. This is a 5x7 card base, so I have 3 more. And when I'm doing an assembly line, what I start out with is, of course, designing the card. So I have my stamps, I have them mounted on the blocks. I've already figured out my colors, and we'll go through those. I have papaya, honey butter, avocado, glacier, wisteria, and mist. I also pulled in espresso to do the stamping of the bird and a little bit of edging, inking. So I've got this all ready to go, and next I know I want to make 3 more. So I start making little piles. So this is that pattern paper. Then here's a strip, and the strip ended up on here because I felt that this blended in. I'll show you with these pieces of paper. I had them layered like this on the front of the card, and with the white base of the card, you can pull one in. You can see here, I just felt like it got lost, and I thought that by adding this strip of mist, and why mist? I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was pretty, and it is a color in here. I thought that that helped to give this piece a bit of a landing zone so that it stood out a little better. It just looked better to my eye. So I start gathering. So I have my pieces of pattern paper, so each pile has one of those. Each pile has the 1x7" piece of mist cardstock, and I believe this is 2x6. It was just a piece of bigger, 12x4, and I whacked it in half. So that's what determined the size of this. Then I have my layers for my little bird. So this is papaya. This is 3.5 by 2 3/4, and then each of these pieces steps down 1/4 inch. So this one would be 3 1/4 by 2 1/2, and then the white piece ends up being 3 by 2 1/4. And I like the size of that reveal. And so each pile is the same now. I've got everything gathered. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I sort of assembly line this. So we've got, I think I'm just going to take these because this is the most stamping that I need to do. And I like to get the biggest part, the most intense part done. It just helps me with my workflow. So I'm going to just leave them in order here. I've got papaya, We're going to do a little squish in here. And I think I'll move these over a little bit. That way my stamp pad can be fully on my Versamat. And I'm going to stamp each one in each color. And by doing it this way, I'm minimizing opening and closing of a stamp pad. So papaya is done. Next is honey butter. And they're both light, so I think I can just stamp into here. And again, we're just repeating this process. The next step I'm going to do on this part is I have my mist stamp pad here, and I'm going to do a little edge inking, and I'm using my swipey method. So I am just swiping it along the edges. This is personal preference, not something you have to do, but it's something I like to do. And it doesn't take very long, and you end up with a little bit of definition along your edges. And I find that very helpful when you're using a white card base. The other two pieces that I want to do this to are the piece of mist, the 1 by 7-inch piece of mist, and the piece of pattern paper. So we're going to start making our individual card piles again. We're done with our mist. Now we have this little pile to take care of. You can see here on this pile I had already inked the edges of these two pieces, but I still need to stamp my little birdies. So I'm going to do a little wipe in here of the ink off of that, and I'm going to stamp my bird. And again, by doing each step on all of the pieces, you saved some time. And then I have the little sending, and I'm going to put that right under the little feet. Aren't those feet cute? And while I have this out, I'm going to swipe it along the edges. And we can move on to the next one. I'm going to do my swiping of the papaya and the espresso. And now we're going to stamp our bird. And my little sending. Oh, somebody's calling my house. I'll have to pause. Okay, well, I had a little phone ringing going on there. Didn't want that to happen. So we'll keep going. Such is life, isn't it? We're on our last little papaya piece and espresso piece. And again, you can see that this goes pretty fast. Birdie, ink it up, and that looks good. And my little sending. And give it a little swipe-a-roo. Okay, and the espresso is done. We'll give this a little wipe off. And this, there we go. Now we need to start assembling our cards. And I just do the whole card at once. I don't assembly each piece. I'm just gonna get everything kind of gathered together. The other thing I do want to do is bring in some markers. I have dull green blend, coral shades, and antique pink blend. And after I get this assembled, I'm going to show you how I did that. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to lay it on here just to make sure I've got the placement looking right. That looks pretty good. And I think I will bring in my ATG gun, but you could certainly use glue or other tape runners that you have. I just like my ATG gun. Gotta use what you like and what works for you. And I am completely and totally eyeballing this. I'll layer this on top, and it's a little shorter than this piece, so I'm just centering it about like so. And we've got to put together our little birdie. Going to do a little bit of an orange beak, and I am just doing some dots. Because this is espresso ink, it is not necessarily meant to play well with the inky dye markers. They're kind of an alcohol marker, and so I find that if I just do a little dotting, so there'll be a little bit of whiteness in there. But that's okay. And I think I used the mid-range of that one. And here I'm going to use the lightest of the green. And I'm just hitting the biggest leaves. I'm not trying to do every little thing. This is just to bring a little bit of color into the bird. I thought that it would be fine leaving it alone, but to my eye, it just needs a hint of color, and I am not a colorist. I will take that coral and hit a couple of these little bits here just to bring in a little bit of that orange. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Super simple, easy, and I find that if I just do the little dots, I don't end up with bleeding. And here we go. So fun, so cute, and not too bad for time. This is how I assembly line my Christmas cards, and when I need to make a big bunch of cards, this is how I do it. I just start making my little piles and do one step at a time. Toward the end, you could see where I was even streamlining how I was putting my adhesive on. I was actually putting it on multiple things. That eliminates sitting down and picking up your adhesive a lot, and that saves time as well. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a blessed, crafty day, and I will see you next time.